Good morning, students. Hope you all are well. So today we'll discuss about conservation strategies. So the two main basic strategies of biodiversity conservation, that is in situ and ex situ. In situ conservation and ex situ conservation. So first you have to know that what is in situ conservation. Okay, so in situ conservation means it is the conservation of all the biotic resources, means all the biological resources in their natural habitats, not in artificial but in their natural habitat, through means by creating some protection or by creating some protectional law to the total ecosystem. Okay, so this need a network of protected areas. So in situ conservation means conservation of the natural resources in the natural habitat. Okay, so for that we need some protected areas. So what is protected areas? These are the biogeographical areas. This can be situated in different parts of our country or different areas on the earth. So these are land or sea where the biological diversity along with the natural and the cultural resources through some legal or other effective measures is maintained. So different ecological regions have been entitled as protected areas, like the tropical rainforest, subtropical forest, temperate forest, some wetlands, mangrove, desert like the cold desert of Ladakh and Spiti, and obviously the hot desert of the Thar, and the coral reefs of Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So these are all the protected areas. So where there are there are variety or the diversity of species, and also the natural resources, the amount of natural resources is also very high, and the collection or the collection of these natural resources, this can be limited. Okay, because for this collection or for this the commercial use of this natural resources is prohibited by different laws by our government. Now, what are the benefits of protected area? They maintain viable population for all native species and subspecies. Native species means the Indian variety of that particular species, that native and alien species. So native species means which the main origin of the species in that is in our country. So in this protected area, the population of all native species and their subspecies can be well maintained. They maintain the number of communities and their habitats. As it is a protected area, they can maintain their habitats. They maintain the distribution of communities in their habitats. How they are distributed, how different species are distributed in different region, in like in wetland, in desert, in tropical rainforest, like this. Conserve the genetic diversity in all of the species present in a protected area. Okay, and prevent the introduction of alien species by human beings in natural habitats, because as human interruption is prohibited there. So any kind of introduction of any alien species in that particular area which can hamper the ecosystem or which can hamper the balance of that area, so it will be prohibited. Okay, so the protected areas, what are the protected areas? So the protected areas comprise national park, wildlife sanctuary, biosphere reserve, and sacred groves and lakes. So these are different types of protected areas. Okay, so about 1,70,000 protected areas have been recognized by World Conservation Monitoring Center WCMC globally. Okay, now first is the national park. Okay, So national park is a part of the protected area. So the national park is an area strictly reserved for the betterment of wildlife, where the forestry, grazing or the cultivation, these are not permitted and no private ownership right is allowed. Means it is fully allotted to government, these are fully controlled by the government. And in the national park there is only the conservation of wildlife, means plant, animal, all the wild thing, and any kind of forestry or cultivation or the ownership of a particular land or the portion of land, it is not allowed. Okay, and no habitat manipulation activity is permissible in a national park. Okay, so the earliest national park in the world, that is Yellowstone National Park, which is in USA, and the Royal Park near Sydney in Australia. And in India there are 111 national parks are there. They generally cover an area of over 39,919 square kilometer. Jim Corbett National Park was the Jim Corbett National Park, which was the first national park in India and established in 1931 in Kalaghat, Ramnagar by Forest Division in Nainital district. Okay, means it is in Uttarakhand. Jim Corbett National Park is in Uttarakhand. Okay, next is wildlife sanctuaries. Okay, so wildlife sanctuary is quite means it is the next part of the national park. National park, it is the highest conservation area, means it is the highest land of conservation. Wildlife sanctuary is quite less than that, but it is also the conserved and protected area. So a sanctuary is an area where the protection is given to the fauna. Okay, means certain operations like harvesting of timber and collection of minor forest products are permitted as long as they do not interfere with the well-being of the animals. Okay, that means in wildlife sanctuaries the main the main protection is given to the fauna, means the animals. Okay, so some kind of human interruption like using of the natural resources like the timber and collection of minor forest product is permitted, but it means all time monitoring is there that it cannot harm the fauna or any kind of animal. If they will harming the animals, then it will be prohibited or it will be stopped. In sanctuaries, private ownership rights are allowed, but also in the buffer area, not in the core area. Core area means the main portion of the forest, and buffer area means the periphery of the forest. So in the buffer area only these human activities and the resource collection, means using of the resources, these are all, or the private ownership rights, these are allowed. So sanctuaries in India cover an area of almost, it is also same like 39,919 square kilometer. The number of sanctuaries in India is 515. And the biosphere reserve, a concept of biosphere reserve is was introduced in 1975 under Man and Biosphere MAB program by UNESCO. In India, this project started in 1986. Okay, so biosphere reserve is a multi-purpose protected area for habitat where the man is an integral part of the system. So this includes forest area, means where the wildlife is protected, and the conserved wildlife protected and conserved, and also the human activities are allowed under regular framework. Means it is also allowed, but up to a certain limit. So the diversity and the integrity of naturally growing plant and animal communities for allow them to evolve naturally without any human interference. Okay, Okay, so the biosphere reserve therefore used for also the ecological and environmental research, because in national park any kind of research purpose they generally they don't give any kind of permission. For education and training also we can use, means we can make their educational and research on the in the biosphere reserve. So there are 18 biosphere reserve in India and 631 all over the world, which are located in 119 countries. Now, what are the characteristics of this biosphere reserve? It represents the sum total of the biological communities interacting in a single life zone, like within one biome. Biome means it is the sum total of all the ecosystem. Like genome, it is biome. It contains abundant genetic diversity, which is different from that found in other areas. Why it's showing abundant diversity? Because it giving protection to the flora and fauna, means both the animals and plants, not only the animals or not only a particular animal or a plant. It's showing the means it allowed the conservation of all the animals and plants which is situated in that particular area in the biosphere reserve. So the areas so it covers an area large enough to maintain the natural population of large size. As it is a large area, so the population of a particular species, they can flourish, they can grow properly, and the number of the species also will increase. It should provide ample opportunity for scientific studies and research. Now the zones of biosphere reserve: two zone, core zone and buffer zone. So core zone, it is the center of the biosphere reserve, so where no human activity is permitted. Okay, thus it is mainly distributed for area of the ecosystem or for the growing of the animals and plants. And the buffer zone, it lies just outside the core zone, where there is limited human activity is allowed. Okay, means it can be used for research purpose or educational purpose, and it also contributes towards the development associated with the traditional culture and evolving land uses.